I know in your job title as an account manager, what does that actually involve you doing?
It involves me wearing many hats. I look after the day-to-day running of a section of accounts. I also look after a lot of the marketing for Q Bikes as well, which isn't really an account manager's role, but just other angles of the business that I look after. I deal with magazine testings, booking ads, forward planning for dealers, acquisition of new dealers, and just positioning the brand in the marketplace.
A typical day would start quite early for me. I would rise at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we would then go down and organise breakfast for the guests, who would then join us, and we would have a sumptuous breakfast of freshly baked pastries and good coffee, and then I would take myself away and organise the bikes. And normally there are about 12 or 13 people in the groups, so I then had to get 12 or 13 bikes sorted, ready, make sure that they were safe, using my SciTech qualification, my background knowledge to get the bikes ready for the day's ride. And then when the guests had finished and we'd packed the bus with all their luggage, we set off on the tour.
My job entails looking after the public profile through magazines of all the brands that Madison carries, right the way across from national newspapers through to specialist bike magazines, through to motocross and on TV. We work from Cycling Weekly to the Gadget Show. On the reactive side is that if we have a new product come in, whether that be like the new Giro helmet, we'll get that placed. Like recently we've been working a lot with the Gadget Show and making sure they're wearing our helmets for on TV. The trick is learning what's coming in, what's coming up, and what needs your attention to push. So yeah, it's quite varied, and it's really exciting to see that when you've sent something out, you've created something, and then you see it in the magazine. There's a real buzz on that, and it's a good thing to see, and it keeps you motivated to do it again and again. And yeah, getting a good test on a bike that you've sent out and put the pieces together is it's a really satisfying job.
Our centre offers a lot of things. It's not just a bike shop, you see.
Right. Okay.
It's an activity centre, if you like, as well. It's a mountain bike centre, so obviously we have a bike shop and we have Shimano Service Centre workshop, but as well as the sort of that normal stuff, we also offer, like I say, coaching and guided rides, and also sort of more formal training courses that can give you a qualification in sort of bike guiding, for example, and first aid and stuff like that.
I was a racer, I would say at best average, but I never had mechanical issues, which meant I could never blame the machine. That was noticed, and all of a sudden people were requiring me to look after their machines. So my racing went on hold, and I started looking after machines for people because they didn't fail. And that patience and that meticulous attention to detail is what got me started in that area. Winning races is fantastic. When the bike that you've built comes in first across the line or wins a world championships, it's an amazing thing. Equally, when the team has a good day and we're going well, that's a pretty good day as well.
I used to race cross-country mountain bikes for a local shop. I started to work in the shop that I was sponsored by. Realised that there was a lot more to know about how a bike works. Then I moved on to another independent bike shop, and I thought, well, I need to get a certificate to show what I know, and that's when I came and did my SciTech qualification. And then I was so impressed by the training that I got that there was a position available. I thought I would go for it, and that's how I got to where I am today.
Can you actually sort of say what it was that made you choose the bike trade? Why you chose to work in the cycle industry?
I guess as a child, and still now, I have a huge passion for cycling and for bikes. I love kind of all types of cycling, and it's kind of been really good to be able to make my hobby into my career, which is a pretty good thing to be able to do. Plus, I've always had an interest in sort of engineering and kind of that side of things. So, the bike industry is can be quite techy, so I really enjoy that side of things as well. So it's a really good combination of being able to do the things that I really enjoy as a job.
For me, working in the bike industry was it's a bit of a dream, because I've been working in PR for years, and to transfer those skills that I'd learned at previous roles into something that I felt really passionately about was is fantastic. The cycling in the UK is so buoyant, and the future's so bright for cycling. It's a great industry to be in.
My life's been pretty much all about bikes since I was about 14, and I just made a decision that I wanted to work with something that I cared about, and that was really what led me into the bike industry. I'm really happy, and I would be devastated if I ever had to go and get a job in the real world.
I choose to work in the bicycle industry because, well, to be honest with you, it's something I'm really passionate about. I've loved bikes since I've been small. I've raced bicycles, and to me, there's something about a sense of freedom that you get from riding two wheels that is, you know, I really enjoy. So to be able to work on something that I really enjoy, that's like the zenith of a job, really.
For me, it was just always what I enjoyed. I'd always ridden bikes, and it just seemed like a natural progression for me. I'd always been fixing bikes, I'd always looked after my own bikes.
I used to work with in department stores doing stuff. I've worked behind a bar. I've tried sales. I've tried everything, and there's no other industry like the bike industry. It's like you're working with your friends, even if you've never met the person before. You can get on with them. You can talk to them. You have a conversation with them one-to-one, and you always have something in common.
Yeah, it's a group of friends that's getting bigger, and the industry's moving
massive.
forward. How do you think it might change in the future?
The technology is going to evolve massively. I mean, we've seen step-ups in the last 5 years. The technology's just grown so massively that, you know, it's difficult getting your head around some of the stuff now. And in 5 years' time, it's just going to evolve even more. It's going to go Formula One, basically. This is going to be where we take all the technologies from people who are going to learn from us, basically.
As the bike industry changes, and it really is changing at the moment, I think there's going to be a higher level of professionalism required to be within the bike industry and to be doing a good job within the bike industry. The industry is really changing. It's becoming more mainstream, less niche. You don't have to be a mountain biker to own a good mountain bike anymore. And I think as more customers come in that maybe aren't cyclists, that are used to a very professional service, we will need to provide a service that's in line with services they've been getting in other areas.
Within the bike industry, it's still a growing industry. You know, the company I work for is still growing. The bike industry within the UK is still growing. I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to, you know, to choose a career in cycling and be able to progress through the ranks.
What advice and guidance would you give them?
Leave enough room to ride your own bike in your own time. Otherwise, work can take over. But it is a fantastic industry to work in.
Okay. If they were starting at the bottom?
I would then say aim high and realise that there are qualifications that you can gain in an industry and an environment that you love.
You really need to get involved with the industry yourself probably before you're employed by the industry. So you need to be there, be at the races, be at the shows, be smiling, be as helpful as you possibly can. Somebody you apply to is going to want to see some passion in some bikes. They're going to want to see some personality, some character. You're going to be out there selling. You represent the brand.
I became self-employed to start with as a mobile bike mechanic, but I found that wasn't quite as lucrative as what I'd hoped. From that, I got my SciTech qualification, which then enabled me then to go on and work in the shop that I'm in now. Without that, there's no evidence really to say that you can do the job you're claiming to be able to do. So obviously the SciTech's a big part of it. I like the SciTech because it's obviously the industry standard, and there's quite a lot of progression in it as well. You know, you can move up from 2 to 3 and then onwards.
Starting a bike shop, so you know what the customer's after. If you know what the customer's after, you know how to deal with the problems. You know how to deal with anything that arises, and you'll get a good foundation of knowledge from working in bike shops. And as soon as you build up, you can get your qualifications and go further.
Make it personal. Go and see the shops. Don't send emails because quite often they'll just get forgotten about and put aside. So go into shops, introduce yourself, tell them who you are and what you would like to do, what you can bring to their business.
The main thing is to get as much experience and as varied experience as you can. You know, get a job in a bike shop, do all the little nitty-gritty jobs, and work your way through that and through, you know, various different roles, and just get as much experience and as much knowledge as you can, and also, you know, back that up with training. So some practical kind of hands-on training from ATG, you know, sort of SciTech training, and maybe an apprenticeship, or do something with an engineering bent or a manufacturing bent, so you can understand things, as I say, from both sides of the table.
Since starting at Fisher's, I've done 3 courses. I've done the SciTech 2 course, completed that quite quickly. Then I've done the SciTech 3 course and had an IOSH Managing Safely course involved in that at the same time, and that's kind of evolved from there. And it's just, ever since doing the courses, it's just evolved massively. So it just teaches you a way to learn as well, which is much better than anything you could have asked for.
What are the full list of qualifications?
Okay, well we've got the SciTech level 2. Okay, we've got Trail Cycle Leader, which enables you to take people out mountain biking. We've got the Mountain Leader Training, which is sort of to back up to that. There's the Mountain Bike Leader Award, which is the sort of next thing up.
Get yourself on the courses, you know, get the certificate, show people that, you know, you're a professional and you're ready for the new bike industry that's coming. I've always said get yourself on as many courses as you can. Doing your SciTech, you know, we've all been building bikes for a long, long time, but when I've been in the industry for a long time when I did my SciTech course, and it really, really helped me. Makes it easier to sell bikes when you really understand bikes. Makes it easier to communicate with a mechanic in a shop when you're qualified like the mechanic in the shop.
Trail Cycle Leader, so I've got that training. Okay, and as well as that I've got a couple of other climbing certificates and first aid certificates as well.
So definitely come and get your SciTech qualifications, because that could be your route to your dream job.
And then when you do have a job, just seize any training opportunity that you can.
A bike that is set up well is a pleasure to use. When the machine runs right, that smile is a fantastic thing to see. And that's at any level, from the highest pro in the world down to the most starting out beginner. If the machine is easy to operate and does what they want, more people will ride bikes.